If you would like to download and install My Health Dashboard, then there's a few prerequisites that you need to have up and running first. The first prerequisite is a Windows operating system. If you're a Mac user like I am, you can install Parallels and then install Windows 10 on Parallels, and that will run right inside of your Macintosh operating system. I recommend that you have at least 64 gigabytes of free memory before you install that. So just to give you an idea of what that would look like, if I scroll up here to the top, we see a little Parallels icon. If I click on that, I can access the Windows Start menu. And you see here that I've installed Power BI Desktop. Next, you want to install Microsoft Power BI, which is a free program created by Microsoft. And in order for that to run smoothly, you'll want to have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM available and installed on your computer. I will walk you through that download and installation process now. If I open up a browser and go into Google, I Google Microsoft Power BI download. This is the first link that will pop up. We'll click on that and we will scroll down, set the language to whatever language you want, and click download. Now I am running a 64-bit operating system, so I'm going to use this option. If you were running a 32-bit operating system, you would choose that option. Click next, and you can download that into the downloads folder. I already have it installed, so I'm going to click cancel. Now as soon as you have Power BI installed, the next thing you want to download is My Health Dashboard, and that is available at the link in the description below. So I will go ahead and copy and paste that link into a browser. So when I paste that in, then I see something kind of like this. So I see My Health Dashboard and 2 folders inside of that, and I can download that as a zip file. Click on the download link. Your screen might look slightly different than this, but just download that My Health Dashboard, and then once you have that downloaded, you will see a folder called My Health Dashboard in your downloads folder, and there will be 3 files within that. So this file right here is the actual dashboard. This is where your data is stored. So you can see here there's some sample patient data that you can run with until you have your own data. But notice the way these files are named. They're named with the name of the program that generated that data, as well as the patient ID number. And those 2 things are separated by a space. It's very important that you follow this format for all of the files that you export into Power BI. And of course, you're going to want to set up your own IDs. You can do that here in the identification folder. You'll click on this Excel file and you see a list of patient IDs as well as the names that go to those IDs. So you'll want to add your name and whatever ID you choose for yourself. I typically choose an 8-digit number, but you could make it whatever length that you want. So the next thing you want to do is export data from your phone. First, you're going to install an app on your iPhone called QS Access and export that data through this app. If you're using an Android, then you can use whatever program your version of Android uses to export health data. And then you're going to want to manually export apps that don't sync with Apple Health. Most apps will sync with Apple Health, but there are a few that don't sync, and I will walk you through that process now. So on your phone, after you have the QS Access app installed, you can click on it. And we're going to select everything that's available to export, except for one thing. As of the time of making this video, there is a bug in this app, so it's not able to export the heart rate. So go ahead and uncheck that, and then click Create Table, and it takes a minute to collect all the data. Once it does load that data, then we're going to select this arrow at the top right hand corner, and we're going to either email it to ourselves, or we can use AirDrop if you're a Mac user. I'll select AirDrop, and looks like it sees my MacBook Air. I'll click that. And on my computer I see a little AirDrop icon. I'll click open. So after you AirDrop or email that file to yourself, then AirDrop places that file right in your downloads folder, or you can go to your email account and download it. I'm going to drag and drop this into the Apple Health folder within my Health dashboard. So I click and hold, bring it into user data, and I scroll down to Apple Health, and then I just go ahead and drop that in. And I'm going to overwrite this old file. So I'm going to select the name, copy that name. I'm going to select this name, and before I paste it, I'm just going to delete this file, Control Delete, and then I'm going to give this the new name. There you go. So now I've successfully imported the Apple Health data for this single user into my dashboard. Let's open up the dashboard and see if it worked. So select Health 2.2 Power BI file. First I need to open up Microsoft Power BI and then open the file from there. So I go to Windows Start menu. We have Microsoft Power BI here. And I can open up that file or open up other reports. Let's go to open up other reports. Okay, I believe it was in my downloads folder, my Health dashboard, Health 2.2. Okay, so we have my Health dashboard, but we're not seeing the updated data yet until we click refresh. Refresh will refresh all the data, which takes a long time. If the only thing we want to update is our Apple Health data, click on this Apple Health icon. We have 3 little dots next to Apple Health to the right side of our screen, and we can click refresh data, and it will only refresh the Apple Health data, which is a lot faster than refreshing all of this data. So now we want to manually export apps that don't automatically sync with Apple Health. The most notable ones are Carb Manager, Medisafe, and Oura. So let's go ahead and export that data. I'll click on Carb Manager. I will click on the top left-hand corner, that hamburger in the top left-hand corner, and then I want to go down to Reports. Click Reports, and we don't want a PDF, we want a CSV file. And we want daily totals. We want probably the last 30 days, that should be fine. You can go longer if you want. And what data should be included? I'm most interested in the daily logs. You can export whatever you'd like, but the daily logs seem to be the most useful data. I'll click Generate and Download. Click Download, and we'll click Download in the top right hand corner. There we go. We have our data, and you can see it includes a daily log. We'll export this. I'm going to send a copy with another app, and I'm just going to use AirDrop like I did before. You can use email if you want, and I see my computer there. Great. So that should show up in my downloads folder, and there it is. I see it. We'll click Done, get out of this, and we will go to the Medisafe app and do the same thing. So we'll click on More, and we want to send a report. So I will go into my email, and I see the file that I just emailed to myself. I will download that. I'm going to download that right into My Health dashboard in the Medisafe folder. Go to My Health dashboard, user data, go to medications, and on the Medisafe folder, and save it to that folder. So here's the file that we just exported, and we actually want to replace the file that's already there. So we select the file, copy the name, delete the old file, paste the name, and there we go. Now when we refresh the Medisafe folder within our dashboard, it'll bring in this new data. Next, I want to show you how to import the Oura Ring data. You can't do it on your phone, so we're going to open up a browser. We're going to navigate to Oura's website and log in. And here the address is cloud.ouraring.com. We'll go ahead and enter our login information and sign in. Right here we have a dashboard that contains all of our data. Let's go to Trends, and let's go to Download Data. But first we want to make sure the date is on the right date. We want all the data we can get. Okay, so anything that has any of this data, you want to export. Download data, and we'll just select everything, select all, and download. And we want to put this in My Health Dashboard. So we'll navigate to that, open User Data, scroll down to Oura Ring, and we're going to replace this user's data. We'll save that, and it asks us, do we want to override it? Yes, we do want to replace the old data with this new file. Now when we go to our health dashboard, we can click on the dots next to Oura and click Refresh Data. We can also go to our medications. We did update our medications, so let's click on Refresh as well. Refresh Data. If you don't mind waiting a little bit longer, then it's faster, or I mean it's easier to just click the refresh button and have it refresh all the data.
One thing that's important to keep in mind is that anytime you move this dashboard to another computer or change where you store your files, then you're going to need to change the source path as well. And in order to do that, we click on Home and then open up the Power Query Editor. So this you can see is the Power Query Editor, and you can also see that none of my tables are loading correctly. It's throwing an error. When it's saying that the data source cannot be found, this old path is not correct because we moved the project, and so we need to change the source, this root directory, to our new directory. And it's very simple. Let me show you how to do that. We click on Manage Parameters, scroll down to Project File Path, and it has a description of what that means. This is the root directory of your health dashboard project, and the old root directory was what you see here. We're going to change that, so I'm going to navigate to my root directory. So we'll navigate to our health dashboard project in Windows, double click on that and click on this folder icon, and that highlights the directory. We're going to do Control-C to copy. We're going to go back into our query editor, and we are going to replace that old root directory with the new one. And we do want to have a slash at the end of that directory. I added that slash to the end of my root directory. Click OK. Notice it should be a text type and a value. So you see here, that's another way to change the project file path parameter. You can just scroll down to the bottom here, project file path, and change the current value here. Okay, so let's see if that changed anything. So we can see that some of our tables are functional and some of them are throwing errors. And I'll walk you through the troubleshooting steps that you should go through to see what the problem is. First, let's read the error. And it says that it cannot find this file folder. So the first thing to do is to check to see if this path is the correct path. And we see that it's Power BI Health app, where our root directory is actually different. Our root directory is My Health Dashboard, and so we need to get to the bottom of that issue. So let's click on the applied steps that were applied to this query. We'll click on Source, and we see that it's set to use the project file path and then the name of that folder. So that's like it should be. Everything's good there. Let's move to the next step and see exactly where we get the error. So we click on the next step here, and that's fine, no error yet. And we keep clicking down the line until we find the error. Okay, so here we see that when we go to expand the table column 1, it throws an error. And this is an issue that can be fixed quite easily. All we need to do is delete that step that's throwing the error, and then we repeat that step. So to expand this table here, we just click this button, and we do not want to use the original column as prefix. Everything else looks good. Click OK, and we do want to insert that step right after the current step. And there we go, it expanded that without any issue. So that should fix the problem.